turning 250, and it's time to rock out with our forefathers. American-made, battle-ready style for true patriots. Whether you're marching in the parade, grilling in the backyard, or raising a toast to liberty, do it in the gear that screams freedom. Celebrate 250 years of USA in style. Wear your American pride loud. Trendjackers.etsy.com. Grab yours before the fireworks. America's turning.
Good idea. They just go with the flow. It's the Herschy and Keegs show.
Welcome to Herschy and the Keegs show, starring pitcher Mark Hirschman and his personal catcher, Mike Keegan. Every Tuesday night at 9 p.m. live from the Governor's Comedy Club radio studio. Thanks so much for listening.
Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. It is Tuesday night, 9 o'clock. It is the Herschy and the Keegs show. I was filibustering because we're still waiting for our guest.
Right.
But they're still not here. But, yeah, thank you for listening. Thank you for joining in. We're going to have a fun time no matter what happens this evening.
Yeah.
It's the Herschy and the Keegs show coming at you from Governor's Podcast Radio Studio. Tony Walker, Mike Keegan, Mark Hirschman. How are you, boys?
Hey, hello. Good to see you. What's going on?
Not too much. How are we this evening?
How long could you do the filibustering? Wait.
Well, at least an hour. It's looking like. So
you can go ahead and carry it. So listen, here's the deal. We've been pushing it. We've been talking about it for the past couple of weeks. We knew that there was a chance that potentially this could happen. We don't know if it is going to happen or not, but we're waiting. Oh, that's all right, Tony. Production issues. We're waiting on our, you would say our biggest guest to date, potentially.
Yeah.
We're waiting on our biggest guest to date. And so far, he's not there in the Zoom room. We're waiting in the Zoom room for Mr. Tom Arnold.
He'll be here.
And, yeah, he'll be here.
9:05, though.
Huh?
Didn't you tell me 9:05?
Well, I said that the show started at 9 and we're going to punch him up at 9:05 p.m. Okay. We'll see if he's that prompt. Most of these high-profile celebrity guests that we've been having on usually are in the hole there.
Yeah.
They're usually sitting there waiting.
They're in the bullpen.
Yeah, they're in the bullpen.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, can you do a little score check?
It was still 2-1 bottom of the eighth. Let's
Yeah.
see what's going on right now with our beloved Yankees. It is 3-1, middle of the ninth inning. So we're going into the bottom of the ninth, and the Yankees.
So that
are down
means that
3-1.
there was another run scored, but it wasn't for the good guys.
Not for the good guys. It
No.
was for the bad guys,
No.
and we're not looking too good.
No, not looking
they're
good.
done.
You know what? Here's the thing when it comes to this playoff system. For many years, it was if you were on the bottom tier like these bum teams, you get one game at play in and you lose, you'd be done. Yeah. I believe the Yankees lost every one of those that they played in. Yeah. And then a couple of years ago, they went ahead and they made the change, and they made it so you get to play 3 games. Somehow the Yankees snookered their way into the 3-game set in the Bronx. But as we talk about every single year with this team, the way they're structured, the way they're built, they don't come up big with their bats in the playoffs. And their good pitching is good, but it's not as good as the other teams. So, Max Fried was good today. Pitched 6 2/3 or 6 1/3. But, you have this big bat.
And then you get overmanaged. Crochet looked like he made 117 pitches look like nothing.
But this guy, I was on a text thread with a couple of buddies, and I'm like, you have Fried, who's like 65 pounds, who was gassed out by the time he came out in the 7th inning. And then you look at a guy like Crochet, big legs, big ass, big fucking.
He had a nice big ass.
Tushy,
on him.
yeah.
He has a nice big ass.
Big rump shaker.
Man, delicious.
Yeah, I want to bite that thing.
Yeah.
I want to bite that. But that's the difference, though. He's pitching. He's all ass.
Yeah.
He's all ass. And Fried has
right
no ass.
He's pitching right out of his ass.
He threw the ass ball. He threw a couple of ass balls.
Yep.
And I guess they took him out in the bottom of the 8th. Is that what happened?
They did take him out in the bottom of the 8th. And, the guy made almost 120 pitches look like nothing.
So I feel like that's what happens. Like these managers in the playoff, the Coras, and back to going back to the Lou Piniella days when the Mariners would beat the Yankees in the '95 playoffs. They go balls to the wall.
Yeah.
They go all the fuck out.
They go ass to the balls.
They go ass to the wall, and they don't care. And it just seems like the way the Yankees manage, whether it's Cashman, whether it's Boone, whether it's a combination, it's always like, all right, he's at 100 pitches, pull him, let him throw that against the lefty hitter, and then pull him. Like, maybe he could have stayed a little bit longer, because then Weaver comes in, and they're feasting on him.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Yep.
So it's a big kick in the nuts.
Devin Williams comes in. Luckily, he wasn't a disaster tonight, but usually he is. And we do have a guest joining us.
We have a guest. Yes, we do. And with no further ado, we will welcome our esteemed guest, Mr. Tom Arnold. Welcome to the Hershey and the Keegs show, Mr. Arnold. I am Hershey. This is the Keegs. This is our producer, Tony Walker. Welcome to our show. How are you, sir?
What an honor. What an honor. I got to put some fucking cover up or something. I got some weird thing on my head. What an honor, guys.
It's funny. I was in preparation for the show today. I was doing a lot of watching a lot of videos and whatnot. You are one handsome son of a bitch. I think you're in your 60s now, and yet seems like you've gotten better looking with age. How do you pull that off? Is it only cover up? Tell me the truth.
First of all, I agree, because my vision is so bad. I really can't see myself. So I'm 66 and a half.
Wow.
Celebrate half birthdays here.
Yeah.
My kids are 12 and 9. I'm a single dad. I hope I look better than the people I went to high school with, but I guess the secret is I've looked worse.
I got to tell you, and it's no secret, you've lived many lives, and you could argue that someone who's lived as many lives as you have might not look as well as you do, but somehow you've pulled it off. You're a handsome chap, and it's obvious.
They might be dead.
They could be. That's right. Yeah.
I think I might be in heaven.
Well, we are honored to have you, and obviously we wanted to help promote. You have a stopover here at Brokerage Comedy Club right here in Belmore next week. Have you performed at the Brokerage before? I wasn't sure of that.
Well, I don't know. Is there a sister club to the Brokerage?
So there are 3 clubs. There's the Brokerage in Belmore where you'll be. The main club is the Governor's in Levittown. And there's a third, McGuire is out about 40 minutes out east in Bohemia. So there's 3 clubs, and they're all sister clubs.
Well, I think I probably have. A lot of people, especially on this tour, I think it's the first time in Oklahoma City or whatever, that people bring up pictures of me the last time we were there.
Yeah.
Memory is not, and I don't know, part of it's my memory is getting older, but part of it's I've done, so many, I've lived so long and been in so many places that, it's a little hard to keep track. I guess I could Google stuff, but it's kind of exciting going into new place that
Yeah.
I've been.
Well, Long Island's excited to have you next week here.
We are stoked to have you. I will tell you, the Brokerage Comedy Club is the first place I ever got on stage, July of 2010. And it was also the first time I ever went to a comedy club as a teenager. I saw Soupy Sales when I was 17 years old at the Brokerage. And then about 15 years later, I performed at the Brokerage for the first time, and it was pretty neat. And it's a great room. The crowd is right on top of you. It's a 200-seat room, and it's going to be packed to the brink for you. And Mike and I will make sure we stop by to say hello. It's going to be a great show. We're super stoked for you, Tom.
Well, thank you guys. First of all, Subi Sales, just hearing his name. I mean, I smile. I don't know if you ever saw the clip. You know, he did his show, his children's show,
Yes.
live.
Yep.
You know, and there was of course, his buddies were fucking with him, but because they fuck.
Yeah, you could say anything you want. The more fucks, the better is our motto.
He opened the door, and the camera couldn't see what was behind the door, but it was a naked woman, and a bird or something. And his reaction is brilliant. You probably look it up. Or it might have been a woman with just pasties. It might have been, but his reaction to the kids, because he had to pretend he wasn't seeing what he was seeing, but also, yeah, it's also how long ago was Soupy Sales there?
So I was there. Figure I turned 17 in 1988. So I guess we're talking about almost 40 years ago.
Yeah.
And the story that I grew up hearing about was that Soupy Sales at one point on his show asked kids to mail in money to him, and apparently a whole shitload of kids mailed money to him, like thousands of dollars in coins came into his house.
They stole money for their parents. That's a great story.
Yep.
I mean, how do you do that?
Yeah.
That's a great. Well, I've heard nothing but great things about this club. It sounds like the perfect venue. You know, the guy that opens up for me, Max Bizel.
Yes.
I think that's how,
Yep. I spoke to Max a couple days ago.
he's got a lot of family from there.
Oh, nice.
You know, yeah, he grew up New York City suburbs. In fact, I have to be in Staten Island. There's a podcast studio or some bullshit I got to do.
Yeah.
Just with the New Jersey housewives or something. I mean, it'll be great.
Yeah.
But I'm like, where is Staten Island? And where is Long Island? How far? It seems like they're different states.
No. You're about an hour away, hour and 15 minutes away.
They're 20 miles away, but 3 hours it'll take you to get those 20 miles.
But it's not far. Tom,
It's very fun. It's very fun.
I think one thing we want you to clear up, we know the story, but I think there's a little bit of a misnomer. People think that My Crazy Ex-Wife Tour very commonly would refer to your ex-wife, Roseanne, but clear it up that it's not at all Roseanne, correct?
Oh, well, no. And I have 4 ex-wives.
Yeah.
And, you can have 3 ex-wives and still kind of go, wait a minute, buddy, fucking women. 4 ex-wives, you go, holy shit, it's me. And it is me. I haven't had a date. My Roseanne, we didn't have kids together. She had kids, and we had there's only so much they could do to you. It's just money, whatever. And in Roseanne's case, this is true. She went on Saturday Night Live and said that Tom Arnold has a 3-inch penis, which is confidential information.
Yeah.
You take that shit to the grave, but even a 747 looks small when it flies over the Grand Canyon.
That's right.
My 4th crazy ex-wife had kids, and usually you get divorced to somebody who got kids. Maybe you're mad at first, but then you go, "Oh, I love the kids more than I hate you." But I can tell you that is not always true. And my son is right over there. He says, "Daddy, why don't you have a Lambo?" And I'm like, well, I could have a Lambo, but 8 years ago I got you guys. And Court is very like there's a lot of she swatted us. Like it's that great level of crazy stuff to talk about it. I have to say this week. So the kids have I fell a little behind on their childhood vaccines. A little bit. The doctor's like, you gotta catch up and this and that. And so I made an appointment and got my son vaccinated. He's 12, and Tdap and something. They're very common vaccines. You definitely should get.
Yeah.
CVS over here. The we go our CVS. We were just there. The kids and I are there all the time. It's our CVS. And when you're my age, you go to CVS a lot. And they have a lot of great coupons. But she showed up over there and started screaming at the pharmacist, "You poisoned my fucking children."
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Like, and she's filming it like, you know how those Karens film themselves and you realize later they should not be filming themselves?
Right.
Because it's crazy.
Yeah.
Then they're like, "This private property, you need to leave and stop." There was other customers there. It's so embarrassing. And so I went drive through. They're like, "Okay, I don't want to embarrass you, Tom, but your ex-wife showed up here." And I was like, "Which one?" I was hoping for Roseanne because but that happened, and you know, she's a character, man. She's got a lot of stuff going. The government.
Oh boy.
I can imagine. Oh God.
The guys, the government, and then she said, you know, I wrote me. We only communicated on this app called Our Family Wizard, OFW. It's a co-parenting thing, but that only the judge reads and you guys. And I haven't called her in years. I don't send her emails. She tries stuff, but she wrote, "You look terrible. I think when you got vaccinated, which is poisoned you, you need to get devaccinated immediately." I don't know if you remember, but I got COVID before the vaccine.
Yeah.
And I had organ failure. Like I'm shitty. Like February of 2020.
That's right.
I had COVID and I forgot to my flu shot. I had a double thing. And so I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty good with the. And then she writes, I go, "Where are you hearing? Are you an anti-vaxxer?" "No, I just do my research." "Okay, how many times a day do you hear about people they got stage 4 cancer and dementia and Alzheimer's after they got vaccinated?" Hey, maybe I have those things, but one of the best stories is it was like this. In February of 2020, I put the kids in their mom's car for the weekend. They should go to their mom's for the weekend. They love their dad. They love their mom. You know, I don't talk about her in front of them. They see stuff. They don't. So it's good. I put them in her car, and I was feeling uneasy. You know, I was like, rubbed a little breathing thing. I thought, this is ridiculous, Tom. You need to do your breathing exercises. Calm the fuck down. They're going one day. It's actually one night. Calm down, man. Relax. So then I was like, okay, maybe I'll do my breathing exercises and go to sleep. And I was like, no, I shouldn't go to sleep. I'm going to drive down to UCLA, the hospital, just to see what's up. And then a moment later, I'm like, I should call an ambulance. Like, it happened that fast. And then 3 days later, I wake up in the hospital on a ventilator, the ECMO machine, the heart-lung thing, and this other device about that big that sewed into the, what do you say, this part of my groin, this part.
Yeah. The 3-incher. Yeah.
So I'm like, oh my God, this is unacceptable. I have to pick up my kids and thinking the first doctor's all gloom and doom. And like, you're not going to be able to play with the kids, man. You have to go to your heart's only pressure, 5% pressure. And, you know, you have to go to a rehabilitation facility from here. And I'm like, no, that's not. Now I have a heart camp, biggest heart camp in America for kids with heart defects, heart disease, Camp Down Corazon. Never said no to a kid. And it's what people say, that's so good of you, Tom. It is good of me. But it's also selfish because if you have a heart camp, you know the best doctors. Yeah. You can get in today to the best doctors.
That's right.
The pediatric cardiologist over there found me and said, we're going to get you out of here. You're a terrible patient. But here's how you do it, man. See that number on that machine? It has to be this number. That machine has to be this number. That machine has to be that number. And like, I got up every day and I go for Winfrey. And I freaking manifested those numbers. And I got out of there. I was on life support for 6 days. I was out in 2 weeks.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Wow.
I was out 100%. I told them, yeah, you know, I walked around the unit. You do all the stuff you got to do. And I go, I'm really ready to go home. And they go, you sure? I go, 100%. They go, you have someone picking you up? I'm like, yeah, of course I have someone picking me up. I had no one pick me up. They have to wheel you down legally in a wheelchair to the front when they release you. And so I'm there and I say, oh, hey, there's my buddy. Oh, you can go back up and tell the nurse, go back up, take care of everybody. So she goes, so I literally flagged down the first car. I have to take me to my car.
That's amazing.
Over to the mom's house. Now, she apparently has no toys there, so she had my sister had to bring toys to her place by the, you know, and so I had a little cart with me, and so I get there, the kids run to me, and oh, they're so happy, and so what you dream of as a parent, and we start and I'm a little winded, but I don't want the kid. You never let your kids do that. And so I get in the car and I kind of turn around. It's sort of an uphill thing, but I'm like, I may have taken a knee, but I think I get us out of here. Everything's great. And all of a sudden, she appears on the second floor balcony. He's mad for this fucking building. Don't shit, kids. We gotta roll. We gotta roll. So we get in the car and drive away. Another one of the best moments of my life. And my son's like, Daddy, Mom cried when she heard about you in the hospital. I'm like, Sonny, that is so sweet. He's like, she cried because you lived.
Oh,
Oh my God.
Yes, I have to pay for a life insurance policy, a $2 million life insurance policy. He has no skin in the game. But that moment when I got out of the hospital, you always say, well, where's the moment of grace? There's got to be a moment where we kind of move on, where something happens and you go, okay, truce, we'll do this. But I can tell you that doesn't happen in every case. So, you gotta keep. It's very expensive court. It's worth it. I love my dad. I love, everything about it. It's the best life. Very great.
Tom, how do they feel when you get on the road now? And I mean, obviously they're 12 and 9. You said so. You're going to be away for a little bit. What's the feeling from your kids when you decide to take a road trip like this?
Well, I originally was doing it and thinking, okay, I'll go out for a week and I'll be back for a week. And that'll kind of break it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Next week, I have been back for at least a week and a half. And the section before that, my son went with me because I hurt my back. I hurt my back. This is an old man injury. The couch right in front of me. My daughter's in gymnastics and she's very brave. And anytime I get back to my bedroom and get my iPad, gotta lay down to catch up on sports, to catch up on life. All of a sudden I hear, trust fall back at the couch. I'm like, what did she say? Trust fall back at the couch. I'm like, fuck, trust fall. So I jump up, and you don't want to jump up too fast.
No.
I jump up, and I've caught her. She'll fall straight. I swear, she just knows I'll be there. And this time I caught her right here. She weighs 110 pounds. I caught her right here. Not ideal.
No.
So I've also got something called spinal stenosis. So.
Oh, God. David Wright, the former baseball player, Met player, had that. Ended his career. That's dangerous.
Yeah. It's kind of awful. But, you do the stretches, you do the stuff, and it makes it a little better. But on November 3rd, I'm going to go and get a little bone shaved.
Oh, laminectomy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. But I'm working the whole month of October. I'm back a couple days here and there. They'll join me.
Yeah.
They like nothing more than joining me and then selling this stuff.
Yeah.
And but they really take good care of me. My son he's 6'1", 230. He's in 6th grade.
Wow.
He's because he comes, he gets chesty with me.
Yeah.
And he's 6'2", but apparently I'm not anymore. And but he said my kids are just solid, man.
Yeah.
Good, steady, funny, great friends, great in school.
That's awesome.
Sport. I'm so lucky, and thank God, because if they were doing bad, I'd be in trouble. Because a lot of the stuff she files, including her most recent thing, is November 6th and 7th in back there, because about how fucked up the kids are. It's that sort of. She's done. It's a given that I'm all fucked up.
Yeah.
But stuff that she puts in writing, and the judge told me a long time ago, don't put anything in writing. You don't want your kids to read back to you in the future in public. Because I used to respond to her shit like, because I'm hilarious. And she's not a genius, and she's evil, but not an evil genius. And so I'd respond, I'd correct her spelling, I do, but I try not to do that. The last thing I want to say is, if you're in court that much, the court will order a psychiatric evaluation. And 2 years ago, Dr. Donna down in Superior Court, LA, she evaluated my situation, and she came back and said, she's not a psychopath. who wants to kill you. That is
That's nice.
that she's a sociopath who wants other people to kill you. Sociopath. I'm like, what can I do about that? Nothing. What could she do about it? She'll never do anything about it. But you see patterns. You get a sense like it's been quiet. Oh shit, she's in the front yard. Okay, but and I hope it one day ends. But again, it's made me a better dad. I'm closer to the kids. Take nothing for granted. Where the kids are great, and I couldn't be luckier. I got a late start being a dad. Not that I didn't try a lot.
Yeah.
Hey, make up for lost time. You're doing great.
Tom, me and Mike wanted to talk to you about a couple of things. Now, everyone knows. I mean, geez, you've been on the scene here from when you were, on Roseanne. Obviously, going back 35 years ago. True Lies, 9 months. For me, a couple of things that stand out, and Mike and I were talking about it earlier. The best 4 years that we got to see you was the Best Damn Sports Show. Obviously, for sports fans, they know that you did an incredible job. It was you, Chris Rose, Lisa Guerrero, John Sally. I mean, tell us a little bit about that experience and how much fun you had during that period of time.
Okay, the question I have, I can see you guys a little bit. How many of you are rabbis?
Not a rabbi.
The guy in the middle, the one I was just talking, he could be a rabbi or the president of the Hells Angels.
That's right.
It's true.
Well, Tom, you'd be interested to know, and my background's similar to yours. I actually was raised in an Orthodox synagogue, okay? I was bar mitzvahed. I put tefillin on until I was 15 years old. And then one day when I was probably around 16, my old man, may he rest in peace, was kind of sick with the way we were being treated at the synagogue. He came home with a tattoo and an earring, and he put Christmas decorations out. And after that, he became tattooed. He was put in the ground in a Jewish cemetery, covered in tattoos. And so my last name is Hirschman. I am a proud Jew, but I am also inked up. So you're right. I'm a rabbi and a tattooed Jew. Yeah, my man.
That's right.
Well, your dad seems amazing. Your fucking dad. Just hearing that story.
He was the best.
Okay, so much nonsense there. I don't like the way my kids being treated. I'm going to go this other way. And by the way, Christmas is awesome. I have to tell you.
Yes.
There's no comparison. My
Yes.
son has 8 full-size Christmas trees and puts them up in early November. The neighbors, I'm sure, think we're weird. Howard Stern show sent Mamet or one of these characters out to bed with the kids tonight for 24 hours. He really did it. But, they went outside and saw the way the frickin' white trash Christmas tree stuff. But it's great. And you got a good dad to make that thing. Because a lot of parents are like, no, we got to stay this way because that's the way my always been, my family. And then at some point you realize, okay, this is bullshit. This is bullshit. I love the tattoos, and you see a lot of tattoos on a lot of younger people now.
I'll tell you one thing, Tom. Speaking of tattoos, one of my favorite stories of yours is the Japanese tattoo you have on your leg.
Oh, right.
Oh, that is a Chinese tattoo.
Chinese,
Yeah.
sorry.
Mike hasn't figured out the difference yet.
Yeah, I haven't figured out the difference.
Let me tell. Okay, I'll tell that story. Then I want to talk about best dance.
Yes.
Yeah.
I did this movie called Exit Wounds with Steven Seagal, DMX, and a bunch of other people. And Steven Seagal was a weird dude. I'm just gonna tell you, he's a weird dude. And Trevor was DMX, who I love.
Yeah.
Steven Seagal, who was just super weird, and he'd be in the star. DMX be playing his music, and it was. And Steven Seagal, I think he used to be a badass, but when I worked with him, he'd go to do a kick and he'd lift his leg about that far, and then another guy could finish. Sure, I can take him. I am 100%.
He had a stunt man for a leg lift?
And that was Exit Wounds wasn't really a recent movie either.
No.
But now he's in Russia. He weighs 1,000 pounds.
Oh, my
I
God.
know.
He is like Hashimoto. Yeah.
So, then everybody came back to do the next version of the movie, and Steven Seagal did not come back, and fortunately, and Jet Li, his character became that guy. So, I am in love with Jet Li. Jet Li is this tall, his hands are that big, and he could beat the shit out of everybody.
Yeah,
everyone. Yeah.
champion of all of China, like legit. And so, he came in there and uh, first thing they were rehearsing with Chuck Liddell and Tito Ortiz, a cage scene. And, they usually walk slow through it. And Jet Li has a choreographer as a stunt guy so they usually walk through slow it. And at one point in this rehearsal, Jet Li says to them, okay, let's go. And, he's so much smaller. And they couldn't get him because he would get behind them and bend their fingers back. They'd have to submit. And he couldn't. So I was, first day he came, I was like, I got to bond with this dude immediately. And I got a tattoo in, I think, 1989 when Tiananmen Square happened. I don't know if you remember Tiananmen Square.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
We'd never seen it inside there. And CNN was capturing it live, and these college students were standing up to the communist tanks, and then, of course, they all got killed. But so after that happened, I called my biker tattoo artist buddy. I said, get over here, Gil. I want the Chinese symbol for love of all mankind as a show of solidarity with these students. So I had that on my leg for quite a few years, maybe, I forget, 15, 16 years before that. And so first day, I'm like, how do I bond with that guy? So I'm like, he walks in, I go, hey, Jet, check this, man. Check this out. And why are you laughing at? He's like, man love. I go, this says love of all mankind in Chinese.
Yeah.
And he's I am Chinese.
Right.
I go, does it?
Yeah.
To keep that, to remind myself that only an asshole calls her biker buddy. Doesn't have to whip up the hardest language in the world, but
Exactly.
And great fun with it. Now, best of sports show period, best job ever.
Oh, we loved it.
Paid well to talk about sports. Are you shitting me? And we had a reunion last summer for Fanatics Fest in New York City, where the 20-year whoever was on the show 20 years ago, Michael Urban, Stephen A. Smith,
Lisa Guerrero, Chris Rose, John Sally.
Matthew filled in for John because John Kruk won't fly anymore.
Right.
Chris Rose, and so we did a live show for it's a big convention, and the second we started, we picked it right up where it was. So it was just great, and I thought, why can't we do more of this? But I had the most fun. I was grateful to do it. I got to meet my heroes. It was so weird for me to be sitting, like one day it'd be Willie Mays and Ernie Banks, and I'm sitting between them. Jesus. And it's just, because sports, I think you probably feel are so important. Like sports are better than life because there's a beginning, middle, and end. And just amazing things happen in sports. Shitty things happen, but once in a while, impossible. Like I'm a Giants fan, and once in a while, something amazing happens. And my buddy, Bob Tisch, he bought the team. He bought half the team.
With the Maras, yeah.
For like $25 million.
Yeah.
It's worth now because billionaires just know how to make money. But he grew up in Queens. He just wanted to be able to shake the hands of the players as they left the locker room. He didn't want to tell them what to do or anything. And he loved it. We'd go to some Super Bowls, and he just freaking loved it. He had all that other stuff going with this thing. And then I remember they played Trent Dilfer as a quarterback. I can't remember. It's in Tampa, Super Bowl, and we were going to win. We're guaranteed to win. There's no way we're going to. So I go with the family, and the Tisches have a hotel in Orlando, games in Tampa. I take the family bus. Everybody's like, yeah. And we got crushed. And it was so bad. The families were so upset that I wouldn't even get on the bus in Tampa. I hitchhiked, I swear to God, back to Orlando because everybody was so bummed out. That was the last year I went. So in 2008, we go back to the Super Bowl to play Tom Brady, and they're undefeated. It's impossible. It's impossible. We're going to win. We thought it's great. It was such a fun game, and and then a minute and a half left. So a couple miracles happen. Eli gets out of he's got his hand. Eli never gets out of shit. He got the helmet cut, but then you forget Plaxico Burress. He had to throw a touchdown, after that. And Mayor Bloomberg, it was the mayor kids. There's a lot of them. Everybody, we were in the Tish's box, and by now Steve Tish, the son, he and I have been very close. He was one of my best men, maybe my third best man.
Oh.
But it was so shocking that I picked up Mayor Bloomberg and threw him up in
It was a tiny little thing, yeah.
field, and none of us had field back. We got another fucking Tom Brady. Screw that. And we went down there, and man, it could not have been. It just tells you anything is possible. So,
That's awesome.
My experience on that show, and they'd always want me to ask tough questions to people. They'd want me to ask Lance Armstrong if he was doping. I'm like, I'm not going to fucking ask him.
It's a fucking killer, that guy.
Yeah.
I will have a tricycle race with him.
Yeah.
And my favorite was Pete Rose because they're like, you got to talk to him about gambling. I'm like, well, I'm not going to talk to him about gambling, but we'll do a bowling segment. And right before we started bowling, this is the show. He goes, $500. I'm a recovering alcoholic addict. You recognize degenerate gamblers because they have the bug. There's nothing they can. And so it's very funny to me. But it was just a great opportunity. And again, to talk about sports and get paid for it, what could be better?
Yeah, we loved it. We worshipped that show, man. It was
when you were a kid growing up in Iowa, who did you love? Who was your sports gods back then?
Well, here's the thing. Iowa, we don't have professional sports.
Yeah.
So I went to the Iowa Hawkeyes are our team, and I got my goal was to get to the University of Iowa. I had to work 3 years on the kill floor of a meat packing plant. By the way, a pork processing plant, where my grandpa worked.
Yeah.
We worked with pork Jews working there, and we bake it. I would say, hey, I talked to him about the Judaism. He goes, "We'll keep that shit on the down low." Not enough of us to hate yet, and so we have, but I worked, and then I got up there. People love the Hawkeyes. Now, professional sports, people in Southeast. I'm from Atomo, Iowa. They were Chicago Bears, Green Bay Packers, Vikings, Kansas City Chiefs, and those were the teams that people were fans of. And when I was in 8th grade, believe it or not, I used to play football. I used to be the quarterback. I was much better. And I have a size 8+ head, which is big.
Yes.
And our team, we were red and white, and red helmets, but they couldn't get a size 8+ red helmet. So, yeah, because it's it's the redneck capital of the world. They got me a big fucking. And when you're a quarterback, you got this. You're easy to find, but I was a little depressed, but I thought I'm gonna make the best of this. So I took electric tape and put an NY on the side, and just started studying the New York Giants. I was the only person in that state that knew that, but I'm like, I'm going to make the best of this. And it certainly paid off later in life, but I get to be buddies with the owner. And again, the Giants do pay off every so often. They do pay off. So, you just never know.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was curious how you became a Giant fan, but it's interesting.
Tom, one of the things that Mike and I were talking about, and certainly myself, Mike, Tony, we're diehard sports fans. We're stand-up comics, and we're comedian historians, I guess. And one of the great injustices in the history of Hollywood, to me and Mike, we were talking about earlier, was the 1 year and then cancellation of the Jackie Thomas show, which was one of the greatest things. I mean, Martin Mull, Alison LaPlaca, Tom Arnold. It was a fucking killer show. It was a disgrace they took it off. Can you just tell us a little bit about that ride? I know it was kind of post Roseanne, obviously, and she was probably involved in the production, but the rise and fall of that show. Let's hear a little bit about that from you.
Well, it was we had the best time slot Tuesday night after Roseanne, #1 show in the country. So there was also high expectations with that time slot. And I remember the first week the ratings came in are very good. And then as it went on, they started going down. There was still, even when they canceled it, it was like the #9 show. But, Roseanne was such a juggernaut. The first time I was on Roseanne as an actor, I was a writer always.
Yeah.
But at second year, 89, the other writers like, Fucker, you got to be on the show. You got to act, because everybody knows you're a couple now.
Yeah.
And people watch it. So they wrote a part. And 48 million people watched it. I mean, that's how a different world that we live in now. But
Arnie Thomas.
yeah. So Jackie, the ratings are going down. And we were starting to go. Other networks were interested, and Fox made a great offer. But Fox had just started, and I said, nah, they're not a real network. And I think we would have done very well there because I had very good children. But it was the most fun thing I've ever done. Very, semi weirdly autobiographical. It was great fun, but shit happens. So I still had the other job to go to, and but yeah, it was great fun. And people do talk about it. I think you can find the episodes on, and they hold up. I've recently, I had a lot of great writers who went out to do great things too. But here's an example of the show. My buddy Bill Bauer, Bill Bauer, I worked with in the Midwest when I moved to LA. I brought a lot of my writer friends, like comic friends, out to write the Roseanne show because I knew how funny they were. And it's much easier to teach someone the form of writing a sitcom script than it is to teach them to be funny.
We often talk about
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
And Norm McDonald, a whole bunch of guys. But there's a guy named Bill Bauer who comedians love laughing at, with. And he was so crazy. Comedians, if you're dying laughing at somebody, it's fucked up.
It's the funniest thing. Yeah.
It's so funny to us.
Yeah.
Either idiot or whatever. And so, but I wanted to get him in the union. And so I gave him a script. To write. And he wrote it, and it had no relation to the show whatsoever. It was crazy. It had necrophilia. It had the characters were different. And so
It's ahead of its time.
he came to the taping, and he saw it. There was nothing in there he'd written, and he was like, I wrote a pretty good script. Like, he had no idea. So then I wrote an episode about my friend Wild Bill. We one time we were rehearsing, and the security guard comes in and says, so we found out who parked in your spot. No, yeah, something about the parking spot. Because I said some fucking asshole he's parking in my spot, and I made a note, or they kept doing it every day, and then so I tell her on her set, she has her limousine bring her up, and we're on the same lot, gets out, and writes it in soap on the window of the first car. I forget. No, he was on way. She has a picture of John Goodman's ass. That's what I did. That's because they parked. It's so then security comes in and says, we figured out who parked in your spot, and it's Julie and Louis Dreyfus because we were right next to Seinfeld. I go, oh shit, tell her not to worry about it. I thought they were not. She was not coming in to apologize. Yeah. And because I'd also written those. Are you fucking blind? That's what I wrote. And her and David, Larry David, and Seinfeld. They're kind of like the Sharks versus the Jets, in whatever that.
Yeah,
West Side Story.
West Side Story. Yeah.
And she's in
Thank you.
And I go, I don't worry, you don't have to apologize. She goes, I'm not gonna apologize. Offended me, and I said, really? Well, it offended me when you parked in my fucking parking spot. And so she threw the note down. I kept it, of course. But then I told her, said that. Then she comes back, and she has soap, and she writes Julie and Louis Dreyfus because she's 12 on her windshield. It became a big story.
Yeah. That's great.
And, but then we write an episode about that because we thought it was funny. And the Seinfeld people, we were sharing equipment with them up to then it was over, and they never really talked about it. But I noticed when they sold their DVDs, they did talk about it. So it was funny. I certainly wouldn't want to offend Julie Louis Dreyfus. She's one of the most talented, beloved people. Yeah. But it was a little bit of. It was sort of us, the white trash.
That's fun. That's hilarious. Exactly.
New York Jews, But that was sure fun show to do, and I love doing it.
Yeah, another great one.
You know, one of the stories that we talk about a lot, you know, Mike is a road comic, and he's been at many highfalutin type of parties, and one of the parties he's well known for, I believe, being found drunk, naked, and being, is that, tell me.
Somewhere along the lines, yeah.
You were at a pretty high profile event.
Opie and Anthony party.
Yeah, and you were found nude, you
I
were
had
drunk.
a couple of extra drinks that night, yeah.
So there's one tale that I don't know how many of our listeners know, and I'm sure a lot of your fans know, that you were, I guess, working in the slaughterhouse at the time, and you had gotten a little bit bored, and something about streaking and nudity and an arrest. Can you please go ahead and tell us a little bit about that?
Well, first of all, you got to try real hard to get fired from the kill floor.
That's right.
It's not a great job, and I had started, you know, because all my buddies were at the University of Iowa, the real college, and I'm working at Hormel, and at one point I started community college, and then I worked at Hormel all night, you know, worked in the smoke shop, and one night, you know, but it really didn't feel very collegey, and one night there was a party, community college party. I said to my buddies, I'm calling in sick, you know, I called in sick, and I said, we're going to that party. We're going to have some college fun. So we go to it. It's over at about 8:30 because the average age of the person in community college is like 64. I'm shitting you not. And it just was so disappointing. And we're going back to the dorm, and I said, I know what we're going to do because we're going to go streaky. And this is probably 1982. Streaky just got to Iowa. It was in New York in 60, maybe. But so Mike and Bo and I, but still my best buddies, take off our clothes. We go down to the diner. Our local diner was called Mr. Quick. We come busted in there, jump up on the table. We have our shorts on our head, yelling, screaming, and there is nobody there. And it was our buddy who works in the kitchen won't even come out to humor us. We're like, we're on our way back to the door, and I say, guys, I know. Here's the deal. I know where there'll be people. Jefferson Square Banner, the old folks.
Oh, Jesus.
We're not perverts, but the nurses will think this is hilarious. And of course, the story of my life, they did die. And so it run out there. By the time we got run out the cops, and it's a small town. They surrounded our car. And so we jumped in the back seat, three big fat naked guys. was rubbing acid. And I'm like, guys, we're busted. I'm going to step out of this car and put on my shorts like a human being. I got out. The cop handcuffs me behind my back. I'm like, you got to be.
Oh, my God.
Sure. In Iowa in December, I'm like, fucker, you got to take these cuffs off so I get a little fucking blood flow. But everybody, you have a dream where you're in high school giving a speech and you look down at it. That freaks you out. But I was completely naked, and everybody on Main Street, some people drive by, is that? And so, take it a joke. And if you are arrested for public, you call in sick, and then you're arrested for public nudity in an old folks home in a small town, it will be in the newspaper.
Yeah.
It's a hard thing to fire, but I did get fired. But it was funny because my dad, I had a single dad too, so I know it can't be done. The nicest guy in our town, the most respected man, head of the Cancer Society, Chamber of Commerce, gentle, funny, smart. People love my dad. And if you know, there's a documentary series about my little sister called The
Queen of Meth.
Queen of Meth, yeah.
My little sister was the biggest drug dealer in America. And people are like, was it embarrassing having your sister be a drug dealer? And I'm like, now when I was doing drugs, it wasn't embarrassing. So, my dad, so I actually was arrested. And then that documentary does give a little idea of what our childhood was like. Not ideal, but I was actually arrested more than my sister because I was a dumb ass, fighting with the police. And we didn't have cops like, we had a sheriff who got elected and then hired all of his giant buddies to be deputies. No cop training, but they had to fight. They had to be willing to fucking fight people. And so to me as a 15-year-old, I'm like, fuck that, man. Fucking get it. Big Bruce Allen, who's 6'6", and get into these fights. And I was at McDonald's with my buddies, I'm 15, drinking a beer, of course. And the Bruce Allen comes in, takes my beer, and says, "Get the fuck out of here." And I should have got the fuck out of there. But as I was walking by, I went up to the window where him and the other 3 cops were sitting. I knock on the window. Fuck you. Now, I really should have got out of there, but I had to potty. And the potty was in the back of the McDonald's on the outside. So I'm in there peeing. And, my buddy said, Bruce Allen got up, took off his gun belt, and came in hot after.
Oh, jeez.
And he punched me in the back of the head, roll out there. I think my pants were not even up. My 50-year-old buddy's like, fucking Artie, get him. And his cops are like, kill this motherfucker. And, I gave it a little bit, but you get shit out of it. And the funny, if it really hurt you badly, they would not take you to jail. They dumped me in my dad's front yard. They had to bail me out of jail so many times. People are like, I bet it's hard for your dad to have to bail you out of jail. I'm like, he doesn't give a shit. And then the moment my son was born, I went, oh, he did give a shit.
Oh, he gave a big shit. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Jeez.
This time, and the streaky, and he's like, Tommy, Sheriff Irvin said you and Mike and Mo ran naked to the old folks on this. He thinks that is despicable behavior. I wouldn't think you would do that to me, or I go, Dad, no. Sheriff Irwin is a fucking liar, number one. I never do that to you, Dad. Come on. I'd never do that. He's like, well, I didn't think so, Tommy. I'm like, can I have my underwear? Because I'm still, I swear to God, I'm standing naked in front of my dad. He does. It's too much to compute that his son is standing naked because he got caught streaking at the old folks. When my sister got busted for drugs, it is a huge story. It was a huge national story because all the cops in our town worked for my sister, of course.
Yeah.
So that guy's pretty funny how they couldn't tell them. And so they had to come in. They came in pretty hard. But my dad's like, Tommy, did you know Lori was a drug dealer? I'm like, that. Everybody knows she's a fucking. Everybody knew you.
So, Tom, explain to us the dynamic. I mean, it sounds like your dad was the mensch of all mensches, but I remember seeing some stuff a couple of years ago about you talking about your sister and your mom kind of, was a little bit of a loony, kind of was doing drugs and drinking. And did she get your sister married at a young age? I remember hearing this a while ago.
The first drugs we ever did were given to us by our mom. First booze, first drug. And she moved out when I was 4, married 7 times. The last one was the chief of police, Delbert, and who hated me but loved my sister. Anyway, so I knew she was not a mother. Like she would say, I'm not. She was 16, my dad was 18, and she did not ever want to be a mother. So she moved out. She would say, I'm not maternal. Never tell you I love you, but I might tap you on the knee once in a while. Like it's so weird. And the only reason I like seeing her is because when she came over, she'd give me $1. And back then, you could buy 10 candy bars for $1.
Yeah.
And I'd wait for her to come. She wouldn't show up most times. But she'd come, I'd get that fucking $1. All right, bye. I'd go right to the grocery, get 10 candy bars to eat them. Probably why I'm an alcoholic. But I didn't, And then my dad, when I was 10, he married the next door neighbor. And he asked our permission. And I knew she was not a fan of me, But I'm like, Dad can't date. So that's what we're going to do. And I suited up. I was out of there like the next year, living with my grandparents, which my grandparents were very nice people. But the first day I got home from school, we were having dinner, and all of a sudden my grandmother buried her head in her hands and started weeping. And my grandma was like, Donnie, what's wrong with you? What's wrong? And because I had a black eye, I didn't even think that would make her weep. And I'm like, she'll be weeping a lot because I get a lot of black eyes. Weird. But, my dad, married her next door neighbor. She had 2 kids who we knew since they were born. They had 2 more together. I'm the oldest of 7 now. But she was like, I'm going to break, my dad never spanked us. He never threatened us. He never, it was a kinder, gentler, and his mom ironed his underwear all the way through college. Like, that's the kind of family they come from. And the woman he married was a fucking just abusive, and I'm sure that she grew up that way. But I mean, the shit she do, especially with me. So I'm like, when I'm 15, I'm out of there.
Yeah.
And my dad had rules, and I'm like, fuck that. I want to go somewhere I can drink, grow my hair.
Exactly.
And so I moved in with my mom. I knew completely. This is like, the first day there, she's like, I'm leaving town for 2 weeks. There's beer in the fridge. And then she's like, "You can fuck your girlfriend here if you want." I never done it. And she leaves, and I remember having lump in my throat, like I should have stayed with Dad, but I can do what I want. Party, my fifth or sixth stepfather was much younger than my mom, and so I had to find him. It was bad. So my sister though Lori was a great student, great athlete, really sweet girl, but when she was 14, she decided to move in with me and mom. And I told her no. But she never thought my mom was her hero because she would come over just wasted, like at Christmas, which we celebrate, and fall into the tree. And my dad would just laugh. He liked her, but he thought, I'm going to take the high road. And so this is the woman, but my sister, like, this is my hero, this crazy woman. So she moved in, and within a month, uh, uh, my sister, because she started dating a 22-year-old that she met from my mom. And then my mom's like, whoa, I'll give you three choices. You can break up with him, which she's not going to do.
Yeah.
Or I could have him arrested, which she doesn't want to do. Or you could get married. And my sister's 14. I'll get fucking married. So my mom and her, the pedophile, got wasted. They drove down to Missouri. I heard that they were on their way there. And I called my dad, whose office is out closer to the highway. And we got out there. We tried to stop them, but it was too late.
Wow.
And
this was a legal matrimony, Tom? This was a legal?
Sorry, that a 14-year-old, and her mother is there. So then my mom came home in the middle of the night, wasted, like she always was, without my sister. And I go, where the fuck is Lori? Well, she has a husband. She's living there.
Jesus.
So on her wedding night, her husband beat her up. I went over there, got her. But you can't go back to 8th grade. Once you've been married, had your own place, like life doesn't, so.
You passed it already.
Yeah. And our mother was a little drug dealer, not a big thing. She was a bartender, dealt some drugs. And my sister worshipped her, but she also was competitive. And I think she went at a certain point, I'm going to do this drug thing, but I'm going to do it bigger and better than anyone. I'm going to make it a business. So from that point on, she started. And, the first time she got busted, you knew she was going to get busted. I would say to her, you know how this ends. Because she had an airplane. She drove a Jaguar that said dealer on the license plate.
Jeez.
It did work for her. And she'd buy the people, her lieutenants' houses, very loyal. And, but you just knew it was going to be terrible. Now, her husband was the president of the Grim Reaper motorcycle gang. And I assumed it was his fault, But as I found out later, that was so helpful to her because originally she was going out to the West Coast and dealing with the Mexican mafia, getting the products and stuff. And she's like, I'm going to build an underground lab and have a scientist build. I'm going to make the best meth. She had
She's an overachiever.
Walter White. Yeah.
But she would have the bikers go back and forth on Interstate 80, East Coast, West Coast. Like, it was pretty great. And one time I walked in at her place, and my brother-in-law, who fucking hated me, was packing up money into a briefcase, big briefcase. And I go, what's going on, Floyd? Well, your sister's making me drive out to Vegas and pay off a judge. Like, he was all sad, cloudy. And this guy's such a badass, like, oh, she is in charge. She's absolutely in charge. So she got busted. I helped her. I felt badly for her. I got her a great lawyer. She had a 7-year-old kid. I was concerned about him, and they wanted to put her in prison for life. And the RICO statute, I went and testified and said she does deserve prison. Because also she had what cost her guaranteed 10 years is there's a video of the DEA guys undercover, and 3 of them and Lori at this place. They're at this table, a big drug buy, and hundreds of thousands of dollars. And one of them says, Lori, we're surprised you're not afraid to do deals like this by yourself. And she raises her first book. Why would I be afraid to put a gun down? And you can see them go, fuck, I don't know. But if you have a gun, it's 10 years.
Yeah.
Got her that. I sent her son to my nephew to They had kind of a fake ass military academy, Missouri, but they get to wear a uniform. Gave self-esteem. I took care of them, and so she got out of after 8.5 years. I mean, here's the Floyd died in Leavenworth because he wouldn't apologize. Like this guy was real deal. He wouldn't turn on anybody. He wouldn't apologize, and he thought that's it. My sister, like most of those people, turned on everybody.
Yeah.
So she gets out. I get her job in Bordeaux. You know, let's do that. That's the best job in Pueblo, Iowa. Got benefits and that everything will be fine. She's got a job, self-esteem. And after a little while, the DA calls me and said, she's not working at Horbello. And she's drinking. You're not supposed to drink. Roll. And then he said, and she's starting to deal with that. I'm like, God damn. She'd open up a bar too. Well, I was like, her old bike just raging, which was fun for me and my buddies back in the day.
Yeah.
Drugs and go in there with all those bikers who wanted to kill us because they were college students. But so they said, but if she stops right now, we're not going to bust her. So I said, I'm going to go in town, get my brothers and sisters together, my dad, and I'll talk to her. So I get everybody together. We go downtown to our little photo studio downtown on Main Street, Durie Studios in Tomo, Iowa, to take a picture with Dad. So it's me and six other kids and Dad. You should see the picture. It's awful. And then if we walk out, I said, Lori, hey, they know you're dealing, okay? But if you stop right now, they're not going to bust you. And she's like, mind your own fucking business. I think they bust her, and she got 10 more years. And her second husband died in prison too. So,
Holy shit.
She has, and I really worked hard her first time to get her sent to a prison camp. She went to the Martha Stewart prison in West Virginia, which is beautiful. And I have to say, anytime I go down there to talk to the ladies, your self-esteem is so high because they're like, we love you. And I'd always want to stay. But second time prison with some kind of chemical dependency part. And, and so she was there and I didn't talk to her for 4 years because she, and because the Best Damn Sports Show, we used to do weird stuff. I said, I feel like it's time to go talk to her. Why don't we bring the cameras? And it was where they have, they have televisions with the acrylic, like it's a real prison. So we went down and filmed it, and to me, that was pretty good. But I made it clear that I was done, and then she's been out. She hasn't been busted since. She lives in her fifth biker. They're all giant dudes. Husband up in Ohio. She drives a forklift. Turned 65 yesterday. In fact, she's alive. Actually, I'm alive.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, but it's she's tough. She's tough, and people really like her. Not necessarily me.
What a story! Holy,
I don't feel so bad about leaving the synagogue and getting tattoos all of a sudden. This little Jewish kid from Iowa has quite a fucking story, huh?
Right? Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Before they said, she'd call me once in a while and say, this person wants to do this. I go, don't do it. Doesn't seem legit. And then when these people that did it reached out, I saw their work. They'd done some other legitimate documentaries, real deal. And so I said, I think this would be good. And they asked me to participate, and I said I would. By the way, my sister is like, how much money do I get? So she dealt, and they work out a deal, and they're like, where do we send it? She goes, no check. I want a bag of, literally she wanted a bag of cash. The guy called me, he was like, I don't know, this seems, I go, just do it. That's how she does business.
Yeah.
But matter of fact, do it with me too. But so I said to my assistant, we went into Iowa to film, and I said, I'm not going to let him do that bullshit thing that reality shows do where they get you to be emotional.
Yeah.
I'm not going to talk about anything. And they did trick me a little bit. They had me read her, before she got sentenced, they write a report about what her childhood was like. And it was, as I know, just awful, but a little emotional. But then I was like, okay, that you can deal with that. That's not too embarrassing. And we're leaving town, and I get a call from her, the producer. Hey, come by and say goodbye. Okay, I'll do that. What's the address? I'll give you the address. And I'm driving up there, and it's our one cemetery. We have a very small Jewish cemetery that all the shit is thrown over. But so go in there, and I said, "Oh, shit, our mom is buried here. They're gonna try some shit with me. It's not gonna happen." So go up. Hey, you can see it in the thing. We're of course standing at mom's fucking grave, and I don't know if they told her to say this to me, or if it was just her, because there's some damage to her that she doesn't quite, understand. She's not mad at her mom for all the shit she did. She doesn't, her son did confront her, but she has a weird blind spot there. And she said to me, when are you gonna get over this thing about mom, or however she said it? It flipped the switch on me, and I started screaming. I screamed at her. I could see her eyes, like, and I'm a big dude, and I'm like, what the fuck? She would anyway. And then I'm like, okay, was that bad? And I get in my truck, and my assistant is crying, weeping, and I go, why, what are you? Oh, people are gonna hate you. but it was a real deal. That one, her son, who had to grow up the most fucked up life because his parents.
Yeah.
Her son, by the way, he is a giant. He's about 6'6". But Biggie is his name. If you're a white kid from a double island, you're big like that. Your nickname's Biggie, of course. So
yeah,
he never got drugs, never drank, got married to a nice Jewish girl from Sacramento, got a baby, and he didn't want to do it first. They came and they kind of put a couple seats outside of his house, and they he got very emotional, but it was very cool that he did that. And so it does. Besides, a lot of people that worked for, like, our town lost a generation of parents when she went to prison, because all of them went to prison. And so they were grandparents, or, I had a bunch of the kids out working at the farm, and a lot of them continue the cycle, but some of them don't. Some are like, and my nephew is one of those. I'm very lucky. So yeah, that's the deal. All right, guys.
Yeah. Tom, listen, we've fired through an hour here. We feel like we can go for about 7.5 hours, but we're not going to keep you any longer. We appreciate your time so much. We look forward to getting a chance to say hello. We'll pop by the club next week. If you ever want to come back and tell us some more happy stories, you're more than welcome to.
I know what you do, and you're cool. Now, I have to say, my day today is spent watching. My son's watching YouTube or something. Kids don't watch network TV.
Yeah.
They watch YouTube, and they have these YouTubers that they're fans of. And there's a guy named Kai that for 30 days he's been living with his buddies in some giant mansion out here. He's a cute, like, a black kid, small, and he's friends with Kevin Hart. He's got huge celebrity friends. But today, if he got 1 million subs, whatever that is, and he would let LeBron James shave his head.
Really? Let's try that. I'll do that.
Well, if we get 1 million subs, we're gonna let you shave our head at Brokerage Comedy Club next Thursday night when we see you there. Okay, pal?
Thank you. We'll see you down there.
Yeah, we love you, Tom. Thank you so much. It's been an honor for you.
Tickets at www.govs.com for Tom and Max Mazel on next Thursday night. Next Thursday night. So.
Absolutely. Thank you, Tom Arnold. We love you, buddy. Thank you so much. We'll see you.
Thank you so much.
Take care, pal. Bye. Tom Arnold, everybody.
That was awesome.
Wow.
Man. That was great. What a guy.
Yeah. You know what? Sometimes we have on these high-profile people, and you got to, like, pull stuff out of them. Yeah. Wasn't the case with Tom Arnold.
Yeah,
Tom Arnold came ready to rock and roll. And
he opened up. He was hell of a guest. Yeah.
This is a man who has been in the limelight for going on 40 years now. Started out as he was known as Roseanne's husband. That was what he was known for. Yep. Kind of like I'm known as Stacy's husband and you're Carla's husband.
And you're Mike Keegan's friend.
Right. Mike Keegan's friend is what I'm known as. But again, I was looking through as we were preparing this morning, you and I, going through his resume, and it's just unbelievable. Like, I almost forgot about Best Damn Sports Show.
That I didn't forget, but I forgot about 9 Months was one of my favorite movies.
Yeah, of course.
I would love to have Tom on again because he has such good stories about, like, Hugh Hugh Murray. What
Hugh Murray, the fourth. Yeah, yeah. Him and Hugh Murray were doing drugs somewhere. Yeah.
No, Hugh
Jackman?
No, Hugh Grant. Hugh
Oh,
Grant.
okay.
9 months. He's got a great Hugh Grant story. He's got a great Steven Seagal story from Exit Wounds. He's got so many great stories.
He had a pretty good one about
That was
yeah.
That was great also, but he has a story, and I don't think he's a big fan of Steven Seagal. From
I guess.
And his
You know,
other story
I'm
was
thinking.
like Steven Seagal was like kind of being a jerk to everybody.
Yeah.
And he's like, I don't have to rehearse anything, and they were doing this film in like this cabin that was on the water.
Yeah.
And he goes, I'm not gonna rehearse or anything, and he goes out this one door, but it was the door that he wasn't supposed to go through, and there was just the ocean on the other end of that door, and Steven Seagal just fell into the ocean because he didn't want to listen to anybody. And he's got such great stories. He was working on 9 months with Hugh Grant while Hugh Grant was going through that whole prostitution thing.
Oh,
and
shit.
he was like one of Hugh Grant's first calls. Hugh Grant called him. He goes, because Hugh Grant had spoken to him a couple days before. And he said, hey, Tom, you going to get some hookers tonight, whatever? And Tom's like, I don't do that stuff.
Yeah.
And then a couple days later, Hugh Grant calls me and goes, hey, mate, I got busted with a prostitute last night.
Dude, that's like a long-ass time ago. So he got in trouble. So Hugh Jackman and Hugh Murray.
Hugh Jackman, Hugh Murray, and Hugh Grant all got in trouble on the same day.
I gotcha. You know, it's funny. We had taken a lot of things to go over with him, and you know, when you're dealing with someone like this, you just got to let him go. You know what I mean? He had one story after another.
Yeah.
He did not need to be prompted or pushed.
He didn't. There was
a-
stuff I wanted to talk about. I was just going to
he's-
joke around and be like, hey, wasn't it cool you got to throw out the first pitch of the San Diego Padres game?
Right.
And that was the game that Roseanne
with the crotch and the spit. And, well, I think we'll have him on again.
I would love to have him on again. I'm going to stop down at the brokerage.
I will
Comedy
too.
Club
We'll
next
go together.
Thursday.
We'll go together like
Yeah, we
friends
will,
do.
like friends
you know?
do. Like,
Tony, would you like to join us?
I hope I can. I hope I won't. I don't know if I'll be in here that night.
Oh, well,
but I'd like to.
We'll cancel it.
Yeah. We'll ask Tom to move the show then. if
We
he can't
can.
make
We
it.
will.
Do the show in here.
Let's. We didn't cover sponsors at the beginning.
And before you do sponsors, quickly, we do have a new sponsor
Coming on next week, but we're going to do a little sneak peek tonight.
A little sneak peek.
Yeah.
His name is Ami. He's with North Belmore Collision.
Oh.
I met with him today. Great guy.
So you had like a sponsorship meeting.
I had a sponsorship meeting.
Wow.
Yeah, a whole thing today. I did.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I was doing things.
You're doing things, man. I'm proud of you, Mike.
Ami at North Belmore Collision. He
Sure.
said he's going to sponsor the show. He said, you mentioned Hershey and the Keegs show. You get a free estimate. He's going to give you a free estimate.
Who doesn't need that?
He said that he'll answer his phone any time of night. Anytime.
Okay.
That's like his thing. He's a big customer
Let's call him
service
now.
guy. We can call him right now.
Okay.
And next week we'll start promoting him. But they're a great company. He'll help you out if you got to get body work done. You got to get towed. Ami from North Belmore Collision.
So we don't have a body guy. Now we
No,
do.
now we do.
So,
Now we got a body guy.
so we have Ami from North Belmore Collision, and we also have. What is the gentleman's name at Sophia Jewelry?
Omid.
Omid. So we have
Ami and
Ahmed and
Omid.
Omid. Yeah. We have Sophia Jewelry at 134 Gardeners Avenue right here in beautiful Levittown, specializing in diamonds and vintage jewelry. Go see Omid for all of your buying and selling of jewelry and mention Hershey and the Keegs for a free appraisal, Mike. We have, of course, Dr. Kimberly O'Connor over at Platinum Chiropractic. They are fully dedicated to providing chiropractic solutions to address your unique needs. Whatever you're experiencing, back pain, neck pain, headaches, muscle tightness or tension. What's the number to call, Mike? 516-935-3555. Five, right?
Yeah, well,
good.
fives. Just keep hitting fives.
Just do fives, Mike. Just do fives. We have New View Construction. They're established in 2007. They are the people to call for the finest craftsmanship and all of your general contracting needs. Call 516-924-5627 and do it with confidence. And of course, we have American Restoration Solutions. When disaster strikes, they'll guide you to recovery. Call 516-662-9377 and ask for Senior Account Manager Keith Dunn. Now that's the first half of the sponsors. The way Tony has it set up, we have to wait another half hour to do the second half. So let's figure out some shit to talk about. No, it's just a joke, Tony. We're gonna go right into Sunray Services.
I gotta pee.
Now is the best time to convert to hybrid heating and cooling. Call them today at 631-231-5533 or visit them online at www.sunrayservices.com. Triple M Professional Painting and Construction at 516-395-6390. Family owned and operated for over 35 years. Call for your free estimate today and ask for James. We have Dimitri's Valet Cleaners on Wanto Avenue in Levittown. They have been in the dry cleaning business since 1965. They will take your garment care seriously. Quality is their policy. mention Hershey and the Keegs for 15% off all of your purchases.
Yes, ma'am.
Demolition Specialist, Michael,
Ooh, I know these guys.
1-855 Rip-Outs, the number you call for demolition, dumpsters, and fence rental. Family-owned and operator for over 30 years. They are a fully licensed demolition contractor. And last but not least, New York State licensed real estate person, Diane Keegan. We love her. From All Island Estates Realty Corporation, you can call Diane directly at 516-458-1864 or email her at diane@allislandestates.com. If you're looking to rent, sell, buy, make Diane your first call. That wraps up the Hershey and the Keegs show sponsorship. Tony, do we have something imminently that we want to push right now for you, or should we end the show because Tony's got to urinate?
Yeah, Friday night I'll be in Milford, Connecticut. If anybody's in Connecticut, and follow my stuff. And
yeah, very good. All right, Tony, you want to go ahead and you have a show coming up very
this Saturday
soon.
in the Giggle Room. The flyer says 7:30. They moved it to 9.
Yeah,
but please come.
Mike Boschetti, Tony Walker. We have a couple of the twins from Staten Island that are very funny, and it's going to be a great show.
Thank you.
Thank you to our new watchers, Tom Arnold fans. Please make sure to like, subscribe, share, and do all that other stuff. Thank you for watching. As always, we love you. We'll see you next week. We have the Oven Boys coming in studio with us. It's going to be great. See you guys.